Welcome to Over the Falls podcast, episode number 26. This week, we sat down with ex-Royal Marine Commando Neil Adams. We chatted about the brutal training to become a Royal Marine, the 2 tours he did in Afghanistan in the height of the conflict, the close calls, how he controlled fear in those situations, his rock-solid mindset to never looking back and to keep moving forward, and we chatted about his current PT business, which is going from strength to strength. We learnt a lot from this man, and we have full respect for everything he's achieved and been through. We hope you enjoy. Oh, God. Right then, here we go. Neil Adams, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
I almost didn't make it. I'm not going to tell you the diversion I've had.
Oh, okay. So we'd like to start with your background in the military if we can.
Yeah.
And what made you want to join, and specifically the Royal Marines?
Specifically, the Royal Marines was given to me sort of direction by my elder brother, Mick. It was always a dream of his. And as a youngster, I was unsure what I wanted to do coming out of school, or going through school, rather. And he was like, I'll go for the Marines then. I literally just sat down, took all the books off him. I literally just learned everything about the Royal Marines, their training, their history, battle honours, kit, uniform, you name it, everything. And that's basically it, really. That's where it all come from. It was my brother's dream, and it became my dream. My brother couldn't join because, sadly, he had 3 prison sentences against him, all for fighting and stuff like that. Like, he was never a thief or anything like that. So,
how old were you when you went in then?
I was actually 23 when I went in. I was supposed to go in at 20, but I got into a bit of trouble into town with the local police. Took 3 police out, and I got put on a 3-year curfew.
Honestly? Okay. So obviously, if you've got any of that sort of background, they don't like it, I take it. So they've got to make sure you're pretty
I just started
clear.
my process with the Armed Forces Careers Office in Shrewsbury, and I think I did about 2 days worth. And then that happened. I rung the AFCO, and I literally rung them up and said, look, this is what's happened. And I've been put on a curfew. I've been put on the curfew for 3 years. And they said, well, look, until that curfew's done, there's no point in us talking.
Okay.
And the day after my curfew was ended, I was back in the AFCO in Shrewsbury, starting the process again, basically.
So before that 3-year curfew then, you were ready to go in, I imagine, were you? You were sort of mentally and physically prepared?
Yeah, physically, mentally, as far as I knew, physically and mentally, I was always training, mentally prepared. I studied everything that I could, but obviously the physical side of things, you feel prepared, but after experiencing it now, you can only be prepared as much as you can for what they actually put you through. So
Can I ask, how is it different from? Because I'm pretty naive about all this sort of stuff. Is it different from sort of the army? Is it a bit more intense? Is it a bit more?
I would say so. I've never done army training, so I suppose I can't really speak about that, but I can only speak what I've been through. And the Royal Marines is the longest training in the world. It's now, when I was there, it was 8 months. It's now 9 months because things have changed again. There's more to do, but there's no getting away from it. It is 8 months. When I was there, and the first half of it, it's just pure bullshit. It's just messing with your head. Because they want to condition you into something that they want you to be.
Can you go into that a bit?
So the physical. They put you through such hardship, physically and mentally, because for the real job that we do. For instance, for example, where I went, Afghanistan, on two occasions, there's going to be some serious hard times.
Yeah.
So to create hard men, you got to put them through some hard stuff.
Yeah.
Because that creates you physically stronger, physically fitter, and mentally more robust as well.
Gotcha.
Can you, what was the first week like then? Do you remember the first week? Was it?
Yeah, I remember the first week. You go into what's known as the foundation phase, which is a 2-week block. So in that 2 week of the foundation, they call it, it's, your admin is, you're literally being shown how to shower. You're being shown how to iron, how to do a locker. Everyone is shown all this. You all know how to shower, but the way they do things that way, if you're all shown, then there's no excuses. So if you turn up and you're a bit grubby looking, or say you haven't shaved, or you haven't shaved properly, you've got no excuse because you have been shown. And that's basically it, really. But I say I was 23 when I went in, and there were some young lads there, 16, 17. What I never forget it. I can't remember his young lad from Cardiff, and he's bought a brand new iron, or his mum and dad have bought it for him. I don't know. And they've still got the. So anyway, he's come over. And Taff, as everyone was calling me, he's like, my iron won't turn on. So okay, thinking, why is he asking me? So anyway, so I go up like I said, I'm looking at it. Anyway, I don't know how he's done it, but he managed to get the plug with the new plastic cover on the plinth in the plug socket. He's knackered the plug socket. I'm like, right, that's your first problem. I said, your second problem, you're going to have to go and report it to the corporal. So he goes and reports it like that, and then literally all you could hear was, right, down, start banging them out, and he's there just doing press-ups until he can't do any more press-ups, basically.
I guess he was so nervous, probably trying to put it in the socket. That he was just like trying to ram it in there, sort of thing.
Well,
just nervous, maybe.
Well, all I can think of is that he's never ever used an iron before, or maybe he has used an iron before, but obviously in his mum and dad's house, it wouldn't have still had the plastic links on the pins, like
Why isn't this going in?
Never used a brand new electrical iron before.
I will get this to work.
Good old.
So 16 is how old? Or
16's the minimum age you can go in.
That seems crazy to me in a way.
Isn't it?
But
And then 9 months later.
Yeah, but like having spoken to local bloke, Fabian, I spoke to him because he was ex-Marines as well. So I went down to see him, had a little chat, and and I also spoke to a Marine officer as well at the time. He said, we take them on, but they don't like to take anybody under the age of 20, really, just because of the maturity of the person.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you mean? So they like to have lads turn up who've lived on their own for a little bit, worked for themselves, not work for themselves, but done a bit of work, paid their own bills, done their own washing, done their own ironing, with an iron.
Yeah. So like a bit more of an independent, mature person.
Yeah, so, because I was 23 when I went in, I'd left home when I was 16, and I was living with a mate, local like Gary Davis. And, so I was just doing my own thing, so I was quite self-sufficient anyway.
Yeah.
But, it's not going to get you, not just that alone is going to get you through Marines training.
Of course.
But if you can get your admin squared away, you know how to turn an iron on, you can iron a shirt quicker than other people, you can start helping the other lads and say if someone across the room is a little bit slow and he's like, I can't get these creases, whatever. Yeah. Right, you're done. Right, go over and help out. And that's one thing with the Marines, it's camaraderie it's sky high, you're there for each other.
Of course.
Was there any particular times in training when it was really tough, when you thought, do you know what, I can't do this?
No, I never ever thought that I couldn't do it. But there was plenty of times like fucking hell, when is this going to end? But in your head, you've got to tell yourself it's going to come to an end at some point. Like some exercises were days, going into weeks, but some of the routine, the hardest thing for me in training was at times just staying awake.
Really?
Yeah, it's just because the nickname for Marine recruits are called nods. So you get, it's like, say, you'll go down to the gym, do other stuff, you go to the lecture rooms in what's known as Puzzle Palace. They'd be in the lecture room like that, and it's always hot in there.
Oh, that's a bad combo, isn't
so
it?
So it's death by PowerPoint at this stage. And all of a sudden, you look at this PowerPoint like that, and all of a sudden you're nodding off like you're like that. So the nickname for Marine recruits is actually called nods.
Is that a test in itself then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Could be, yeah.
But and the best thing you can do is just stand up. Just stand up so you don't fall asleep. That just looks good. But then some lads would literally just, they've just gone.
So when would you sleep then? As in, like, if you're doing exercise and stuff through the night, and would you just get moments throughout the day when you'd be like, right, I've got to sleep now?
Yeah. So obviously, say if you're on camp, you're not on exercise, you're on camp, you've got your, like bedtime kind of thing. But you got to make sure all your admin, whatever you got going on the next day, is literally good to go. Because you're going to have rounds as well at certain stages of training. So when someone comes around and inspects your locker, and that's just a ball. Like, so some lads, even myself, we would always do this. We'd make everything pristine, make the bed, and you wouldn't even sleep in your bed. You would sleep on the floor because you don't want to go for the hassle of making the bed again. It's that kind of thing. This is the bullshit that you have to you sort of deal with. But it's just part of the process. You don't have to do that, but most of us, or some of us, just did it just to save ourselves the admin.
Yeah, I can imagine. How many people... Did anyone drop out, basically? So when you're going through these tests and the physicals, etc., did anybody drop out?
Yeah, so day one for us, my recruit troop was 74 76.
Okay.
And 16 finished.
No way.
So the Marines, basically every recruit troop, as far as I'm aware, still happening today, is a 5% pass rate.
No way. So there was a load of people. And do you remember when the first person dropped out of your group?
I don't, actually. Would have been within the first 9 weeks anyway, because the first 9 weeks you're in the main gymnasium where you're doing camp circuits, doing a lap of the camp. You got your indoor ropes, so 30-foot ropes. IMF as they do it, so literally on the spot sort of stuff, fitness like high knees, the world's allocation of press ups.
Yeah.
But yeah, but prior to all basic training, there's the PRMC to get through as well, which is a 3-day test. So if you pass the 3 days where you're looking like you could possibly manage mainstream training, then you go through the 3-day test first.
What does that entail, 3-day test then? What is that?
Just pure phys, basically. So the first thing you go down to do is a bleep test. So the minimum is 11.1, which isn't bad. I mean, I was up in the 14s, and there was some lads still going into the 15s.
I don't remember what the police was.
Well, I've taken I do pre-forces training now for men and women, and the police is 5.4.
Yeah.
Quite a difference, that.
I remember it being quite low.
The fire service is a bit better, 8.8.
Is it? That's quite a bit more than the police, isn't it, if you think about it?
Yeah. And what did you say?
It's something I've had a chat with a few people, and it said, like, I honestly think, like, emergency responders, police, fire service, NHS, ambulance service, that kind of thing. If you're an emergency first responder, I think your fitness levels should be required at a certain level. It should be up there, because you don't know what you're going into.
You don't want to be a hindrance if you're trying to save someone.
That's what I'm saying.
Or potentially a hindrance.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to be physically capable of just doing things, and being physically fit can just give you that edge.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to protect yourself as well if that need came up a bit. Or run away.
Yeah. Chase, whatever, Yeah.
What kind of combat training did you sort of first do in that 9-month stint of training? If you know.
The first bit would have been a little bit unarmed combat, a little bit of hand-to-hand stuff.
Yeah.
So you're showing a few moves. Then you do a one-on-one with each other. You're just working on skills and drills. Like, you're not trying to hurt each other at this stage, but you're just working on technique, basically. So, but in anything that we ever did in training, can never really, really prepare you for the actual real thing.
No.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So, was there a point when you realised that you were going to get through this and pass? Did you know quite early on? You think, I
never even looked at the end.
No,
I never looked at the end until it was there, because there's literally no point. Because some lads were having to be pulled off the recruit training because of injuries.
Of course.
Do you mean? So I never wanted to curse myself in any way. So just
took it each day type thing.
Yeah, just focus on like, so right, we've got exercise this week, right? There's the exercise, there's 7, possibly 10 days. Get through that. And then it's just back on camp life then, running around like a blue arse fly, back to the gym, more lectures, trying to stay awake. Yeah, it's just...
What was the feeling like when they said that you actually passed?
I was emotional.
I bet. It's hard to think to get through.
Obviously the end test is the 30 miler. My sugar levels had dropped so much. I got to the last checkpoint, and I was actually section IC as well, section commander. So one of the lads, he's only a Dut, Barry Cann, and he's gone so far, because I've got another 6 miles left to go. I was like, before we set off, I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I feel fine. I was like, if you don't feel okay, speak to the medic there. He said, no, I feel fine. So we've gone, I don't know, 500, 600 yards, and he's literally gone face first into the mud.
Really?
So the actual corporal was like, right, Adams, your section IC, 5 minutes carry him back, and then catch us up. And I was like, yes, corporal. So yeah, I did that, and then I've literally just said to the medic, give him a quick debrief of what's happened. They took care of him. I'm literally just going hell for leather trying to catch this section.
Oh my god!
And I caught them, and then the last mile of the 30 mile is known as the green mile, because it's like a perfect green path, almost like a golf green.
Wow.
All of a sudden, I just can't see anything. I'm like this, and everything's blurry. And one of the lads, Ben Smith, was next to me, so I'm holding on to him like this. And he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can't see." He says, "I'm holding on to you just in case I catch a stone or a rock as and I face plant it. So I'm trying to find my Haribo like this. I'm just shoving it around my neck. And like 2 minutes in, I'm like, right, my vision's come back, and that was it then. And then we went over the stone bridge, clapped in, and then the commanding officer was there, shaking our hands. It was actually my section corporal that gave me my beret, and
wow,
just a tear came down my face.
I'm not surprised. I bet. Is that Brecon?
No, it's Dartmoor.
Oh God,
that's another part of hell. But yeah, Breccon's okay. I didn't mind Brecon. I found Dartmoor worse.
Did you?
But then you go to Otterburn, and it's like Dartmoor, Brecon, and Senny Bridge rolled into one.
Oh my God,
baby heads like here.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, doing section attacks on that once before, and it's like move, and it's like move it again.
On that 30 mile, you said on like the final test, are you in your gear or whatever? Do you know what I mean? On that 30 mile,
yeah, you're in full kit.
Yeah, you're in full kit and everything.
And we've done three of the final tests prior to that as well. So the first one being the endurance course, which I was the first one back, and I got the quickest time. So that's 4 miles cross country, going through swamps, smarty tubes. So you stay as a 3. Till you get to know what's known as the sheep dip. If you've seen that advert where they're pushing each other through.
Yeah.
Obviously, the advert makes them look like they're in a swimming pool. It's not a swimming pool. It's just a stinking tube. Mm-hmm. So you push and pull each other. Once you've all gone through, you're on your own. Go. And I just that's it. I was just gone. Met the PTI back at the start point, and he ran back with me. He was actually quite sound with me till we got to like the Commando Training Centre gate. Then he just switched back into PTI mode and just was just shouting in my ear.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, come on, Arms, get a move on this. So I'm just legging it. And you run down to the 25 metre range then. And then once all slots are filled, you shoot, and you got to get a minimum, I'm pretty sure it was 5 or 6 out of 10. And I got 9 out of 10. So, but I had that much time. By the fourth person come in, I pulled my rifle through, stripped it down, oiled it up, got it good to go.
Wow.
You excelled then, by the sound of it.
Yeah, but
rather than just passed.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what the endurance course is about. It's one of those tests. So yes, you can do all this cross country physically, you can carry a kit, but now can you, potentially at the end, drop a target?
Yeah.
To stay focused and survive, I guess, in the situation.
Yeah, because obviously when firing a rifle or any weapon system, you've got to control your breathing. You mean?
Okay. So like after the training then, when congratulations, you passed, and what happens then? I mean, do they start lining you up to get deployed somewhere, or what's the process then once you've got that beret?
Well, because I was a section commander, I got the Diamond Award, I won that, and I was the only one out of 28 of us in total, because we had some lads backtroop to us, to go to 40 Commando, which we were going straight on Operation Herrick 7 to Afghanistan. And I wanted that. I wanted to go straight on ops, just because I didn't want to go to a unit where nothing was going on. I just wanted to be busy, basically. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what it was like to go to Afghanistan, but there's only one way to learn.
Go there.
So I opted for that. I was the only one to go. But I know some lads I'd met in training. I knew them there. So I met some familiar faces, and I was in the actual same company in the same fighting sections with themselves. So it was good.
What year was that?
So that would have been 2007.
And when did you pass? Sorry,
Right.
Literally just before that, was it?
Yeah. So literally just before that, had a bit of leave. Didn't have much leave.
Mm-hmm.
But then the first day I got to 40 Commando was the first day of OBTAG, which is the operational training cadre, which you do that for. I'm not sure how long it is now, but you've got to do certain scenarios, and you've got to pass them as a unit. Because if let's say you're failing things, then obviously the hierarchy will turn around and go, look, there's no point, sending you to Afghanistan because you can't even pass an exercise in the UK, kind of thing.
Whoa.
What was it like getting on that plane? I'm assuming it was a plane to go out to Afghanistan. Do you remember that?
And which plane was it? Sorry.
What is it? It was RAF down at Bryce Norton, so we flew out from there. I can't really remember the feeling, really. A little bit excited, but also nervous. I wouldn't say I wasn't nervous. I was obviously nervous.
Yeah.
But just looking to just wait for the next orders, because that's all we're doing. We're just being told what to do.
Yeah.
Right, turn up at Bryce Norton, get there. We get driven down together, get to the other side. And it's again, wait around. Right, lads, we're going here. Okay, wait around. Right, lads, we're going there. And it's just, that's just how it is in the military, just it's classic, as we call it, hurry up and wait.
So you're not looking at the long game, really. You're just basically just
Order
day
to
by
order.
day, week by week, rather than like...
There's no point trying to suss out what you could be going into, because you could think of 10 different scenarios and it'll be the 11th one that comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you feel ready, though, when you got there?
yeah, I felt ready, because we all the stuff that we'd done on OBTAG, we'd done our skills and drills together as a team, as the sections, and yeah, we're ready as can be, So we knew each other well, knew each other's jobs, who was carrying what, and that's the important thing.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Like, what were you responsible for? Like, were you responsible for other people?
You're responsible for everybody, as a team member.
Yeah.
But me, I was an LMG gunner, so
light machine gun.
So light machine gun. So I would literally be 200 on the box. I'd have another 1400 on my back, and every one of us was carrying 51 mortars as well. So I was carrying 51 mortars for the mortarmen. Doesn't sound. They were literally just so big. It's all right. They're not massive things. Plus your med kit, food, water, and you got body armor on top of that, helmet.
How much does all that weigh?
Heavy, I bet.
Just generally. 'Cause I'm just thinking about the heat, all your kit on you. It must have been...
Oh yeah, you're sweating
A lot. Chafing.
But it's pretty warm out there.
Yeah, I mean, the first tour we did was my tour was a winter tour, so that was October. We deployed, and then going through, we spent the Christmas out there. And January was the worst because it was snowing, it was boggy. The terrain was just horrendous. I mean, so if you wanted to run anywhere, it was like you were skiing.
God.
But there was some days where, prior to all that, it was hot. I mean, the hottest we had it out there on a winter tour was 41 degrees.
Jeepers.
And then the other tour I did, the summer one, hottest we had it was 52.
Oh,
52.
52. But it's, I don't know, it's like if you went on holiday somewhere and it was 52 degrees, like you'd feel that 52 degree heat, because you think, right, I'm going to get a cold drink somewhere, I'm going to find a bit of shade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like with Afghanistan, it was like, right, where's this next scumbag going to potentially ambush us from? So you've always, so you never really thought about the heat. You just got on with it, and you'd be surprised how quick you can adapt to things anyway, temperature wise. Because we went in there, we did some, climate training and all that kind of thing anyway, just to prepare ourselves as best we could for it. So yeah.
What was the first moment when you realised, okay, we're in a war zone here, or a conflict, when that first bullet goes past you, or what the first explosion you hear? Do you remember the first moment?
Yeah,
you realised?
I remember my first firefight that we had, and my adrenaline was so high, I didn't sleep for 3 days.
Whoa.
Honestly.
Just the adrenaline was just so high. I wasn't like, wired, but I was just like, I could just feel my adrenaline was just there. And it's been that 3 days. This is probably the one time I actually read a book.
What book is it?
Yeah. I actually got to remember.
It was a good one.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah,
Honestly.
It's such a, your adrenaline's just so high. It's just, I just didn't sleep for 3 days.
I just can't imagine it. Like the
No, I
four of us
can't.
sitting here, obviously you've been in this situation. I just can't imagine it. It's an amazing thing. It's a scary thing. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There is scary times out there. I suppose if anybody says they were never scared, it's. I wouldn't say they're not lying, but of course, there's scary times. Yeah.
What was the most scared you think you were on either tour? Do you remember a particular moment?
I suppose we had our Alpha Company, we had our 9/11, our actual 9/11, actually the 9th of the 11th, not the way the Americans do it, which was the 9th. So we actually had a big firefight, and we took 4 casualties. And this is where my number 2, Shane, actually reported me dead, because 2 RPGs had hit my position. The first one had pushed me back into the stream. So I've crawled back up, and then within minutes later, the second one's hit the same spot. So he's obviously got his eye for me. But I'm just laying there on my side now, and I'm rubbing my eyes because my ears were ringing. But what I didn't know was Shane was hitting my back plate. I couldn't feel him doing this. And so anyway, because I wasn't responding to him, and he couldn't see that, I was actually just like rubbing my eyes around things on my back to him. He's gone up the line saying, Neil's dead. So he's reported me dead. So that's gone all the way up to the section corporal, Nick. And Nick's about to send my ZAP number, which is Alpha Delta 144 uniform. I think he was halfway through it. And then his number 2, Ricky, has stopped him. Said, no, fucking...
Could see him.
Taft's there. He's back. He's on his knees firing back. So Nick was like, what the fuck is going on? And Shane was like, I honestly thought he was dead.
That's mad.
But one of my all-time best mates, Chris Bongu, Bulgarian guy, I was just laughing and then repeating what Shane said. Yeah, I think Neil's dead.
I guess all you can do maybe sometimes is laugh, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah, I think if I had £1 for every time that were shot at and we just sat there and giggled at it, I'd be a very, very rich man. But that's all you can do sometimes, is just laugh.
Yeah, I don't know what else you would do.
I remember asking, I've talked about this before, but my granddad, who was in World War II, he'd always put like a humorous spin on everything.
Yeah.
And I think you've just done exactly the same thing, because it's like, it's the only way they've dealt with it. Those situations.
It's in the military world, banter is, having a laugh. It's part of the job description.
Yeah.
It really is. You need thick skin. You're gonna be able to give what you can get, kind of thing, in a banter situation.
Yeah.
And even in a firefight, give as good as you can get as well. If someone's going to try and take you out, then they can have it back.
Yeah.
Good.
How are you sort of able to stay calm? I don't know if it's the right word, but like make decisions when it's that hectic? Do you have to go somewhere else in your mind, or is it like?
Or is the training like? Has that worked? Is it?
Well, this is, because you've done all your, with the OBTAC side of things, where you're working as a team in your sections, because you're always stay in that position. So let's say you'll always be to my right, you'll always be to my left. I know exactly what you're carrying, where they're going to be, if I need to grab a grenade or a tourniquet kit, whatever. If I need to do that, then we can do that. But it's, we've still got to communicate to each other. Mm-hmm. And if something happens to me, then I know the lads will do their best around me. So. That's because you literally just rehearsing your skills and drills until you've literally got it so nailed down that you can do it when it's so loud with so many things going off that you could just do it.
Just practice.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect, and that's it. You just work on your skills and drills as best you can, and you will get through it.
Go on. Sorry, yeah. Do you remember the first time? It's probably hard to think about it, but like the first time you either shooting at like the enemy in a firefight, or I don't know what weapons you were using, but do you remember the first time when you're actually you could see people potentially and you were firing at them?
Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah,
I remember it quite well. Crazy. And I guess all your training sorted you out for that, I suppose, or at least prepped you a little bit for that moment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why you go down to the ranges. You'll zero your weapon to your eyesight. So it's so that's you. So you've built that DNA up with that weapon system. So let's say if I grab somebody else's rifle, I would have to re-zero that rifle because their eyes, how they see it is different to me.
Got you.
Do you know what I mean? So I always remember the first time there was a target in my sights, but in the day, my sole purpose and everybody else's sole purpose is to keep each other alive.
Of course it is.
Do you know what I mean? So it's we weren't there to make friends.
No.
And I can imagine it's almost second nature if you combine the training with also people trying to take your head off. There's only one thing that you're going to do.
They come close a few times.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was pretty much the RPG magnet on my first tour. No, I'm not even joking. I was literally, they were like, all right, where's Taff? And they're like, I'm over here. So right, I'm going fucking near him.
Staying away from
Well,
you had a few close calls by the sound of it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a couple?
We had got contacted, so they were working our way through the compounds, and then me and one of the lads, Ben Mitch, is in front of me in this alleyway. And luckily, Ben had slightly tripped, and his RPG just goes between us like that.
Oh my God.
So I've literally just put my head back like as Ben's like sort of stumbled, I've like managed to sort of grab his kit and sort of lift him and keep him moving.
Yeah.
I was like, did you see what happened? He goes, was that a fucking RPG? I go, yeah, it was.
What way to respond to it? Like, was that? Oh, jeez.
So yeah, so it's that it was that kind of thing. But again, you just laugh.
What else could you do? Also, like I can't remember what they call it now, but when they kind of got like mines or explosives that they try and get you with, say if your vehicle goes over them. IEDs is it? Yeah. Do you come across?
On my first tour, that wasn't really a threat where we were, the IEDs.
Okay.
So, and this is the difference between the two tours, right? They were completely different tours. One was a winter tour, one was a summer tour. That's probably two things you can point out straight away. But my first tour, we were doing 12 to 15k on foot, having a scrap, going back, doing it all over again the next day.
Okay.
No IED threat in the area. My second tour, the IED threat now is just through the roof. So I'm one of the main searchers with, it's called a Valen. It's not an IED detector, it's a metal detector. Some people call it an IED detector, it's not. It's just, and everything it sings off to, you got to search it. So in my second tour, you could probably move about 500 meters in about 5 hours because you're searching everything. You just can't take that risk.
Life or death, essentially, isn't it?
So, but we got so au fait with the area that we were on my second tour that we were searching a lot quicker because, we got to know the ground. You're like, right, that's solid, right, that's beeping, right, it's fine. I was just brushing things with my feet in the end instead of being like on the prone position as you would, all this kind of stuff as you taught. I said, right, and they were like, I was like, yeah, there's nothing there, fucking crack on.
Yeah. Did you have any sort of bomb sort of experts there, or is it just you guys using the metal detector?
Well, as us, if we find something, then we will call. We won't dispose of it ourselves unless we got the A&A with us, who were just batshit crazy and they were just pulling things out the ground. So, which is fine, but when we got the A&A to lead, because it was their back garden, basically, and said, look, you're on patrol with us, you're fucking leading.
Yeah. How do you mean A&A?
So that's the Afghan National Army.
Got you.
So my second tour, that was basically what we were there for, was just to look after these guys basically and just get them to sort of, right, this is going to be yours one day. But we always knew the Taliban would just come straight back in because the guys we were teaching, you teach them skills and drills, how to do things. So the only way I can describe teaching them is, imagine trying to teach an adult who's got the learning capabilities of a 4-year-old disabled child through an interpreter. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
And they're there with the rifles, muzzles in the ground like that, foot on the magazine housing, smoking grass, sniffing poppy plants. You're like, you're going to end up dead. So.
Oh my gosh.
I bet that was as if you didn't have enough to deal with anyway.
Well, it was, if they weren't going to take it seriously, then, why should we? Do you mean we've come all this way, risking our lives to teach you, what we know, and what we know is some pretty good stuff. And you can, if you take it on board and be serious about it, you can actually look after your own country. But that was, turned out not to be the case.
Yeah.
Because when the Taliban literally they walked into Kabul, the Afghan National Army, the police, literally just went the other way.
And when was the second tour? Sorry, I think you said the first tour was around 2007.
So 2010.
2010. Got you. Okay.
How long were you out there? Like what sort of length of time?
Just over 6 months on both tours. So yeah, 6 months at a time. But then you got a little bit of a rest period in between R&Rs, they call it. So you'll get 2 weeks off. So
That's still in Afghanistan though.
No. So you'll come out of the front line, which is the FOBs. You'll go back to Bastion, which is like the Butlins camp of Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then you get flown back to the UK, some short time with your family. Then you go for the whole process again. You go back down to Bryce Norton, fly out to Kabul, Kandahar, and then from Kandahar into Afghanistan. Then where you'll meet your colour sergeant. And you're just waiting for your orders in for your helo to go back out.
Yeah, you mentioned family there as well. One of my questions was, like, I guess it sort of like has to impact your family life to a certain extent. I mean, anybody in the forces, whether it be the Marines or the Army or the Navy or anything, how did you sort of find that by being away from home for quite a while?
I'd say it's probably harder for them.
Yeah.
Just because of where we are, and they're going to be the ones worrying.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say we worried about ourselves. You know, we obviously miss. You know, I miss my family, miss my wife and kids and all that. You know, dearly. You know, obviously you've got some photos and that kind of thing, and you'll have sometimes the occasional satellite phone call, which will be once every 3 weeks or once whenever you can do it. And it's because the satellite phones aren't that secure anyway. You've got to be quite cryptic on what you're saying anyway. You know,
locations wise.
Yeah, so, so you won't really say. There's no point saying names. There's no point saying location. It's just like, you know, hi, how are you? How's things? Kids okay? Yeah, it's that kind of thing, you know. And it's like, well, okay, well, I'll speak to you next time. I'll hopefully speak to you.
Yeah,
it's really tough for the family because it'd have been all over the news as well, wouldn't it? At that time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when I was in Afghanistan, it was pretty much that's all that was in the media. I think it was a couple of times I was on the phone to my wife, Stace. This is my second tour now. I hadn't spoken to her for a while. And all of a sudden the guns started going off in the tower. I was like, right, got to go, something's happened. I didn't speak to her for about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. And then, and then I think it was was it that occasion where I think the next time she saw me, I was actually on the ITN news. It was John Ray had come out with us, and it turned out to be the worst part we had for like 3 days. So I'm on the 50 cal firing back. I'm also fighting the next day. I'm firing a Javelin missile at this 3-man mortar team.
I think I saw that. You know.
Yeah,
I think I saw a clip of it. I think it got shared online. I think, oh my god!
I think the whole of Aberystwyth was like, "Have you seen Toddy?"
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's sort of like you ran around a corner. You had this was like a rocket launcher or something on your shoulder.
So I had the Javelin missile, and then the Clue, which is the command launch unit, which is the technology which will tell the missile what to do. Basically,
is that the one that goes up?
Yeah, you can send it top attack. Down. You can send it top attack, or you can send it direct.
Right.
So basically, the Javelin is designed to take out tanks, basically, and we were using it on personnel. So yeah.
Is that because of the Taliban? More so personnel, less tanks? Is that the reason?
Well, they haven't got armour.
Yeah.
They did have armour in the early days, but all that was destroyed. But that was that particular scenario. I took out a 3-man mortar team with that one.
Yeah. Do you ever go back and, like, I guess it's hard. I can't even imagine, because like what Dave said, I can't even imagine what it is. But does your mind ever go back to some of those conflicts? Do you sometimes catch yourself thinking about them, whether it would be, I don't know.
Yeah, either positive or
or negative. Do you ever just sometimes go back?
Yeah, I mean, I'll think of things, but I'll always do it in a positive way.
Yeah.
I'll never think of what I've been through and let it affect me.
Yeah.
That's just my whole approach. Because what I've been and done, we've lost, 7 lads in total. Didn't come home, but one being a very, very good mate of mine, Ads Brown. But me sulking about that or being down about it and depressed about it, that's not good for anybody.
It's not going to help you either.
It's not good for me. And that's how I look at anything in the past. You can't change it.
No.
You just have to move forward. But with the lads that we've lost, all we can do is just make sure their legacy lives on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Do you miss it?
I do miss it. Yeah, it's the camaraderie with the lads. And then going Afghan for me. That's the bread and butter of the job.
Yeah.
The lads have always got your back. But that's the best part of the job for me. Was that. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good in the UK, but camp life can be a bit boring, a bit tedious. If
how does it
going
come
on.
to an end? You're out of the forces now, are you?
Yeah, I actually left 2012.
Okay, so that's like 2 years after the second tour you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how was that a decision you made, or is it like you do a service and it comes?
Yeah,
it's
the decision I made, and basically, me and my wife Stace, we'd come to the decision that we wanted another child, and we had to go down the IVF route for that. So we're looking at a few things, and the best thing to do financially was I come out of the Marines and I jumped onto the maritime security sector, so I doubled my money and more. I was away again, so we did that just to build up the funds for the IVF, and I think I did that for close to 2 years, but that was shit.
Can you describe what that is? I think I know what it is.
So the maritime security is basically just a 4-man team on a vessel. That could be an oil tanker, it could be a merchant yacht, it could be a luxury multi-million pound yacht. It could be a stinking Korean tuna fishing vessel, which I was lucky to get onto.
Oh, God.
It could be anything that's got some, value to it, going through hostile waters where it could potentially be taken by pirates, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somalia pops into my head. Then is that those sort of areas?
Yeah. So I've covered the whole of the Indian Ocean in that 2 years on different jobs. I think I had 4 approaches in that time. It's fine. It's nothing like what Afghan is. You have some skiff coming towards you. You can see they got weapons, but all we ever did was we're all dressed in black. You just hold up your rifle, and they can see that. They now know that ship has got some security on there, and they'll just divert.
Not interested.
They're looking for one that doesn't have any.
Basically what it is, they'll just test the ship's defence measures.
Yep.
And if it hasn't got anything in place, they'll be up that like a rat up a drain pipe.
Mm-hmm.
They're so skilled and drilled at what they do.
What's the best vessel and the worst vessel that you worked on?
I'd say the best vessel was probably a Maersk container ship. This thing was huge. So I had my own room, which was all en suite. It was huge. Didn't need to be huge, but it was. We could have put the whole team in there.
Yeah.
But we all had a room each. And it had a gym as well, that didn't really bother me because I could just do stuff on the spot where I am anyway, all body weight, whatever, which I tended to do anyway because the gym was down below. I thought, I sod this, I'm going to go on the wing, get some sun. So yeah, there was that, and this was the worst one, only because of the smell. It was this tuna fishing vessel from South Korea. Yeah. And we were on this thing for 12 weeks. 12 weeks.
Oh, God.
So initially getting onto this thing, it took me about 3 weeks to adjust to the stench of this vessel. It was...
God.
Free tuna?
Yeah.
Sushi.
Did you want to eat it, smelling it all the time?
Yeah. But it was also enjoyable. It was stinking, but I'd say that one alone was probably the most enjoyable one because you got to see these guys fish. And how they did it was good. And I actually didn't realise how big yellowfin tuna is.
Huge.
Colossal
and they're worth a hell of a lot of money. That's probably why you're on board. I've seen like what they sell them to Japan, and it's crazy money, big tuna.
Yeah, because
like gold.
We got onto that vessel in the Seychelles. So they flew us into the Seychelles, into this luxury hotel. And there's a problem with the vessel. So we're now in this 5-star hotel for 10 days. Just everything's paid for by this Korean company. So we're just literally all inclusive, just getting fat and lying on sunbeds and doing a bit of swimming, just waiting for the nod basically. And we eventually got on this vessel and we took it up to Mauritius. Oh. And the same thing happened there. So another problem with the vessel. I think Greenpeace actually did something to their vessel. I think they
right, okay.
Because I think that before they picked us up, I think they actually did some illegal fishing on the other side of South Africa. So Greenpeace were on their case, and Greenpeace were relentless. And so anyway, another 10 days in Mauritius, another luxury hotel, all inclusive, getting even fatter again. Tam was great. So that was it. Then we eventually took it up to Sri Lanka on that one. Took it to Gal, and they put us in the Gal Face Hotel, which is another nice hotel. There's an English poet's got his own museum downstairs dedicated to himself, or they've dedicated to him, and it's weird. It was interesting, but.
So how long did you do that for? How long did you say you were saving up 5 years? How long did you do that for?
I did that for close to 2 years, best part of 2 years, and I think I was off. Where was I? I was 200 miles south of Colombo, which is part of Sri Lanka. On a Skype call to Stace, and she'd said that we'd done it. We're gonna have a girl.
Oh, nice. Amazing news.
So then I was like, right. I'm not sure what job that was. I think I was on a merchant yacht on that one. That was a different job altogether. And I just had it programmed in my head, and I was like, I just can't be asked to go away anymore. I just really can't be asked.
Yeah.
Was that the last time you were away doing anything like that? I suppose, as in military type work.
I'd done a few more jobs after that. And then whilst I was away on the downtime of the ships, I was actually just writing stuff down to just basically set up my own PT business, which was initially I called it ICANN Fitness. So that ran for a few years, and it wasn't like last year. I just changed the name of it just to give it just something else. I thought ICANN I Will just the ICANN I Will just says a bit more of what I'm about kind of thing instead of ICANN Fitness. So yeah, so literally put all the blueprints of that together, and that was basically it. I think I had 6 weeks. I think I had 7 weeks off at one point before the next job. I actually booked myself onto this level 2 and level 3 PTs course. Literally done all that 6 week intensive. I'm a level 4 as well. Did all that online. Did all that online, like long distance learning. And then past that, and then I think I had 2 days left, and I was back on another job. Then going out to Djibouti, which is another shithole.
Where's that?
It's just up.
Is that Djibouti?
Yeah, Djibouti is just further down from Dubai.
Okay.
So as you look at the map, you've got Somalia coming down here. Djibouti's like at the top, and as you go further on, you've got Dubai. So yeah.
So you're doing some kind of security work?
Yeah, doing security again. Is just on the vessels. We just go into ports, and then from there, quickly go to a hotel. Some hotels you could be there for an hour, you could be there for 5 hours, you could be there for a night.
Yeah.
Then you're on the transport down to the port. Ship's ready. On you go. Check weapons. Check ammunition. That's it.
When did you? Well, you're talking about getting your qualifications, etc. But when did you start the PT business, and then you kind of didn't go back to the security? What year was that?
I think it was just the start of 2014. So I just started running boot camps down in Llandaff Fields in Cardiff, which is all right. Did okay, but I just got tired of chucking flies out everywhere. I thought, well, there's got to be an easier way of doing this. So I went into one of the local gyms in Cardiff, because obviously there's clientele just walking through the door.
Yeah.
So I picked up quite a few clients there. But then the commute to Cardiff became a bit of an issue. So I found another gym literally just down the road from the house.
Nice.
And I was there for 4.5 years. Very successful with that. And then it got to the point where I was so busy, I tried to build a team. And the fee they wanted, it'd have been cheaper for us to go down to London and back every day. So it kind of put me in a corner a bit there. So then I lost the 2 lads who wanted to come on. They're both ex-Marines as well, S&C, degree qualified, those kind of stuff, which wasn't that important. I knew they were both ex-Marines and they were qualified, so that was all that mattered to me. So then I put mindset together. Mindset functional fitness, I put all that together. So, but again, I didn't have much money for that. I signed the lease there and then with the landlord. Stace lost her head a bit. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'll find investors," and I did. I found investors. So I just took a massive leap across a massive pond. I think I'm at the other side now.
That's
Not
good.
too sure. So
is that sort of like a gym space then that you were trying?
Yeah. So just it's 20,000 square feet we've got there, and we've got a functional fitness area. There's a boxing studio, a spin room, yoga room, nice cafe as well. What else? I'm now going down the route of installing infrared saunas and ice baths.
Nice.
So we're down that route. We're now going to be going CrossFit affiliated as well.
Wow.
Is that with Reebok, or I don't know much about it? But
No, so Reebok come away from CrossFit.
Oh, they're not with it anymore.
A
no?
couple of years
Oh,
ago.
is
yeah.
it Rogue or something? No.
Rogue's always been part of CrossFit, but Reebok were the main sponsor. So Noble is the main sponsor of CrossFit now. So I think it was all something happened with Greg Glassman, something he'd said, but it worked out for him, and he got bought out for 110 million. So
It's not too bad.
No, that's all right. Though.
Just trying to articulate this properly now. So how have you found it going from military into sort of like normal life?
Yeah, that's what I was going to...
I think we all
really
sort of
interested
came
in
up with
that.
that question.
Yeah,
Just
we've
like,
all got a similar line of question. For
I found it okay, because for one thing, I don't mind grafting. I don't mind having to work for what I want to get, kind of thing. But with the support of Stace and that kind of thing has been immense. So without I don't think I'd be alive without Stace anyway, to be honest. From my military days to my business days now, because I had things planned out, so I had something to go off. So I suppose it was okay for me in that sense. But with the PT side of things, people were drawn to me because of my military background. So he's ex-Marines. I want to go and train with him. And I was getting results with people anyway, so obviously that's what was really selling for me. So yeah, it's been okay. It's been okay.
I guess it might be a slightly different story for you because you see lots of other people who maybe find it a little bit harder. And one of my questions was, do you think either the government are doing enough to sort of try and get people from ex-military background, I don't know, get them help, get them into job roles? I don't know.
Well, I know organisations like the British Legion, Royal Marines Charity, people like that. They do go. They bust their asses off. They really do. I've seen it, for myself, especially with the Legion. Like another lad, Pete Evans, used to work with the Legion. So Pete used to call me in every now and then if they had like an event going on. So I go down there. So the Legion do a lot of work. But are these veterans, actually going out and looking for something themselves as well? Are they actually approaching these organisations? Because I know some veterans, they can be a bit, old school and maybe a bit too proud and like, I don't need help, or it's fine. I'll fucking do this. I can do it myself. And then if it all comes crumbling down, then they start knocking on these charity doors, which is fine, I guess. But like, it was me and another veteran that went down to the House of Commons one time to give our speech about our experiences, and we got all the Welsh MPs on that day to sign the census for the Legion. So instead of it being like, hi, we're over here, we're a charity, come and speak to us, it was because we got the census changed. We can actually go direct to these people and their families and go, look, this is what we can help you if you need X, Y, and Z help. If we can't do it, then we can divert you to other people. So the family tree gets a bit bigger, that kind of thing. Yeah. And that was the day Keith Palmer was killed. That attack in London.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So me and Pete flew down into Cardiff. From Cardiff into London, and then I finished my speech around about 2:30, something like that. And then all of a sudden we're in the House of Commons is locked down, no one in, no one out.
Good grief!
Right, and you were there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Did you want to get involved? Like, did you?
Well, it was all over so quick. So I mean, I've walked past one of the police officers that was inside the House of Commons. I've heard his radio go off. He goes, "Yeah, terrorist has been shot." And Pete was like, "Oh, is he joking?" I was like, "I don't think he can joke about that sort of thing." That was it. Then we were literally like, no one in, no one out. And I think we got out about 8 o'clock at night or something like that.
It's crazy that you happened to be there at that time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad. One of the reasons why I was asking about the government and then things like that was because obviously you hear about things like PTSD and people having potential issues when they come out, and I don't know whether the British Legion sort of like helps with that sort of thing. I guess because I'm not from a military background and I just see these things on the news, etc. I don't know how it all works. Is there enough help out there for people?
Yeah, I honestly think there is. There is enough help out there. And I mean, in the end of the day, organisations like the British Legion can only look after so many people.
But there's budget to everything, unfortunately, and there's enough people.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, they are a charity, and they do rely on donations to run. Yeah. So it's it's no easy thing for them. I mean, but I know one of the guys that deals. He's basically on the front line, if you want to call it that, where he'll deal with, because he's a veteran himself. He'll go and see veterans who are literally on the brink of calling it a day. Yeah. But he can talk to them on their level. Yeah. Do you mean? So it's he does really, really good work. And he'll tell his bosses how it is as well. He'll just tell them straight. So look, fucking hell, this needs to be done. If not,
he's going to do something.
Yeah, it's critical.
And you definitely need someone who's been in your shoes, isn't it? Same as anything, I suppose. You want to be kind of spoken to, say, like if you're potentially an alcoholic, you want maybe an ex-alcoholic giving you advice, because you want people to at least have walked in your shoes or something like that. People talk to you.
Jimmy, because because it's also inspiring for that other person to see, actually, okay, this person's been where I am.
Exactly.
They've come out the other end, so surely I can come out the other end. Yeah. Do you mean? So it's so there is that potential scenario there as well, but people have got to help themselves as well. Yeah. It's as harsh as that may sound, but
I think that's a fact of life. I think that's very true.
It's not going to come knocking on the door, is it? Is that the way you're looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna. I suppose if you don't ask, you don't get. Look at it that way. You know, so, but nobody's going to know where you are if you've not let them know where you are. You've got anything going on. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, there was times like that, you know, my head was, you know, was fuzzy at one point. I was like, right, I just need to fucking speak to someone. You know, I wasn't thinking suicide or anything like that, but it's just like, no, my head was all over the shop. With work, it was just so busy, trying to manage family life. And I was like, right, okay. So I ended up ringing Rock to Recovery, who are part of the Royal Marines charity. So I rang to them and spoke to a counsellor for the best part of 6-7 weeks. You know, which I found quite hard because he was like, you know, he'd ask me a question and I'd answer it, and he wouldn't say anything. He'd just be quiet.
He wanted you to go on for it.
I'm thinking, is he like classic interrogating me, you know? Yeah, if I just don't say anything, he'll start speaking. But I was actually quite stubborn at some of the things. I was like, right, I'm not fucking saying anything to ask me the question.
Did that help?
Mind games.
Yes and no. It's like, you know, I got to, you know, yeah, it was all right. But, you know, I wasn't really in a bad place. I just suppose I was just right, okay. I just spoke to somebody, and that was it, basically. Not that I couldn't, you know, I could speak to anybody, but that was free, so I spoke to him. So.
Was that down to stress and stuff, or was that like your old military days coming? Yeah,
because it just got to the point where I suppose from my military days, it was like everything's organised, everything's squared away. Like I know, you know, that's planned. And it got to the point where I wasn't planning things, it wasn't like having things ready for the next day. I was like, you know, and this went on for like months, and it went on for quite a long time. It was just sort of like, hang on, I'm all over the fucking shop here. So it just
like not structured.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about being in the military is, you know, you've got structure, and I suppose that's where I know some lads struggle with if they've been in the military a long time and that's all they've ever known. Let's say if they're going at 16 and do the full 22 years, and they come out and that's all they know.
Yeah.
And you know they've got the lads there for banter. They've got structure. They turn into every morning. You know they're in uniform. It's ironed. It's all this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, that's no longer there.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
You know, have they got a job to go into? If they haven't, that's not really going to help, because you like to be busy. Me personally, I like to be busy. I like to be doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
it'd be a real shock to the system, wouldn't it? Doing that amount of time, like
you're
almost institutionalized, aren't you, into that sort of process and those sort of daily routines, and then it just gets taken away from you pretty much.
Yeah,
must be really hard for some people.
Yeah, for some, yeah. You know, I've known some lads who've, you know, they come out and they haven't got any family, they haven't got anybody. You know, which I can't.
It's another level.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. So, luckily, I'm not in that situation. You know, but if they haven't got anybody, then you know it's going to be a slippery slope, unless they pull themselves out of it, or they don't go down that slippery slope. They do put something in place for them to do. But I know when leaving the military, you can do stuff. There's plenty of courses. You just got to find something that you could potentially enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love fitness. So for me, the PT thing was, you know, I think at one point I was looking at the military coming out, and I was like, right, what's a good trade to have? I was like, plumbing. Okay, I'll look at plumbing. I spoke to my brother, Ian. He's like, what the fuck do you want to be a plumber for? I said, that's a good trade, and it pays well. He goes, yeah, but what the fuck do you know about plumbing? I said, what's the whole point of the course? You know, I can train. He goes, look at what you've been doing your whole life. He goes, you've done you've played high level football, you've played high level rugby, you know, high level athletics. You know, you've come from the Marines. You know, it's like he goes, to me, it just screams fitness. And then it was literally that night, I literally created the name of ICANN Fitness.
Wow,
good advice.
Yeah, so it was. You know, so mega thankful for my brother for that one. Just sort of like he was like, what the fuck do you know about plumbing?
Yeah, could have been nothing wrong with plumbing.
And I was like out on the phone.
No, my brother's a plumber.
But I wasn't.
Need plumbing.
Yeah.
Fair play to your brother though. He's for him, it was some part of you wanting to go to the Marines initially, and then he gave you maybe a good idea coming out of it as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the PT side of things is, you know, it's got me to where I am today. You know, with my own gym and all that. You know, so I can't really fault. You know, it's been graft. It still is graft every day. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm always working. So, and I like to work. You know. So, and I've got Stacey there with me as well. You know, she's pretty much my partner in crime with it all.
It's good.
You know, I've got good business partners as well. You know, who want to do some work, and we've got some good plans, and we're taking mindset to a good place.
Nice.
I've got sorry, Dave. I've got one more question about like the sort of gym stuff. I suppose. How did you find COVID with having a gym?
A massive pain in the arse.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. But I suppose I struck gold with the members that we've got down there. I think with the whole lockdown and the fire breaks, I think it was about 10 months in total we were actually closed for. I think we lost about half a dozen members. That was about it.
All right. Did you get like some form of support from the government? I know there was like certain grants, like money and things like that.
I think we, off the top of my head, it was definitely business rate relief, which was just a nice to have. But other than that, it was there wasn't that many grants out there. There was some grants. Off the top of my head, I can't remember because that was all dealt with.
With like partners, etc.
Yeah. So I wasn't the finance side of things was I left that to one of the business partners. Mm-hmm. And then obviously like maintenance stuff like that was the other business partners. And then anything gym related was just me. I literally ran all that. So obviously we spoke about it, but yeah, I think there was grants and stuff there, just nothing major.
Were you desperate to get back to it? Because I don't know how big the break was for you, as in, or whether you were doing outside PTing because you were able to do that maybe.
Creeping back in towards what they call was like everything coming back to whatever normal was at the time. We'd started to do outdoor classes. So I had like a load of like dojo flooring delivered to our address from China. It wasn't meant for us. So I'd
send it straight back, obviously.
So I'd actually run the company up. I think you sent. So I think I've got someone's dojo flooring here. And she goes, "Oh, let me just check." So she ran me back in about half hour it was. She goes, "They've actually got their flooring." So as far as I'm concerned, we never had this phone call. Just put the phone down on me.
Oh, lovely.
So I had all this like dojo flooring. So then I thought, right, it worked out a treat because then when we started doing outdoor classes, like, each person would have like 2 meter squares. Or so if they would do burpees or put a kettlebell down, it was all on this nice flooring. So nothing was getting trashed, and they weren't getting trashed because the car park we got was quite gravelly and a little bit uneven and that kind of thing. So yeah. That's with the main ball. Like we even do spin classes outside. So we take all the spin classes, the spin bikes, all the way downstairs.
They're heavy, those things.
Yeah.
Talking about your PT and your gym class and all that sort of stuff. Do you get a buzz out of seeing people progress from when they first walk through the door to like 2 weeks later to a month later to?
Yeah, it is.
Is that the buzz, that the drive?
Yeah, it is. It's a good feeling. It's definitely a good buzz because it keeps them. For one thing, it keeps them coming back, and it's. We're all there for the same reason. Nobody really, that's just basically we're all better in our mental health, and that's what I try and get people to focus on. If you just put your focus where it really matters, like dads, for instance, right? You want a bit more energy to be active with your kids. You don't want them taking a piss out of you because you look like, Bob the Builder's let himself go kind of thing. But if you can put your focus where it really matters, then the physical change will be a byproduct because you're actually better in your health. Because you're working out, you're eating better, reducing the alcohol a little bit. You don't have to completely cut it out. You've got to enjoy things. But if you do that, then the physical change will be a byproduct of that. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. That's how I've always looked at it. To me, if you really want abs and things like that, it's
another level again, then, isn't it?
You've now got abs.
Yeah.
I feel about it the same way.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
Well, my point is that who really does give a shit? Yeah. Apart from because they can see themselves in the mirror. Okay, I've got abs.
I've got them too. They're just under a little something.
Yeah.
We've all got them.
Combat reserves, I like to call it. Yeah. Never know what's around the corner.
No,
it's refreshing to hear a personal trainer say that.
It is actually. That's good.
No, and I agree.
That the mental health sort of fitness side comes way more important than the byproduct.
Yeah, because I'll have a consultation with someone like that, and they'll say, I'm looking to get a bit fitter and stronger. Okay, why? And they'll, elaborate a bit more. We'll go down the rabbit hole a bit more. There's something I want to know, something that let's get a bit more personal.
Yeah.
So that I know what your actual real reason is for walking into the door here and speaking to me. I know you want to lose weight. I know you want to get in shape. That's just what everybody wants. Everybody wants that. Yeah. But why are you actually fucking
reason?
here?
Yeah.
Is it because you want your husband to be fucking, smashing your back doors in, looking a bit better, whatever. You mean, and that can work for the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
They give you a bloke who's got his best shirts hung up in the wardrobe for the last 2 years, and he's itching to get him back on.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to put a bigger size on.
Yeah.
You might think, is his missus looking at somebody else because he's a bit more, his arms are in decent shape or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Some of that shit might not matter, but if you're a parent and that kind of thing, be an inspiration to your kids. Look at that. Be an inspiration to your little ones. Get them out. And, some dads I've spoken to, like, I took the kid down the park for the ball. I was fucking blowing up my arse. What can I do? I'm like, yeah, well,
yeah, you gotta get jogging.
Do some classes with me. You don't have to come to me as a PT, but we've got classes here. Jump in a class. The class will get you fit. And then they get some people then saying, "Oh, I'm looking to do your class, but I'm trying to get fitter to get into your class." I'm like, get in the fucking class.
Yeah,
the class will get you fitter.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you get a lot of? I'm not sure they come to you with this, but people say, "Oh, I don't have time for fitness."
Yeah,
do you get that a lot or not?
No, I wouldn't say a lot. You do. You might not get it, But I'm like saying, I can give you a 10-minute routine. I can give you a 15-minute routine. And you'd be blowing at your arse. It doesn't have to be long. So I think some people might envisage in their head, right, I haven't got an hour or an hour and a half spare for the gym. You don't need an hour and a half. You really don't.
No.
Just do some stuff that's basic. Just get yourself moving. Start there and then progress from there. Take each day as it comes. Even if you repeat that workout for 14 days in a row, you've done something, and that's always better than nothing.
Yeah,
and in that 7 to 14 days, you've improved your nutrition a little bit, then you're on the right path.
Yeah,
and if you're completely lost in the woods, then start knocking on some PT's door or a gym.
Yeah,
just go in like that. Say, look, stop at reception. Look, I've been doing this for the last 14 days. I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing. I need some help. Just say that.
Yeah, be open and honest.
If any decent gym would be like, right, don't worry, we'll help you.
Yeah. Come on in.
The mental benefits of exercise is like through the roof for me, though. I think it's such an important thing to have. Just like you're saying, just doing something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is better.
And the simplest thing could be just going for a walk.
Yeah.
Getting outside.
Doesn't have to be anything crazy, does it?
Like, even if somebody's like, oh, yeah, but it's raining. Like, have you got a rain jacket? Yeah. Fucking put it on. Just go. You're going back to your house where you've got spare warm clothes, a shower. Hopefully you have got that.
Yeah.
So you're going to get changed and get warm again. So what you're doing is literally just a small fraction of your day. Just go and do it.
I feel like it should always be the first port of call. Like say if you think like you're feeling bad, down, whatever, I think like a little bit of exercise should be the first thing you should be thinking about, because it's free for the most part. You're not going to have to go and see a doctor or anything like that, or even pick up a phone. Just go out and do little something to make yourself feel better.
And just on that, just the doctor side of things, if you don't start doing that thing with your fitness, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to go and see a doctor because you're going to start having some problems. We're all getting older, but every day, and who knows what comes around the corner, touch wood.
Yep.
I'll still be that 70, 80-year-old, psychotic PT in the gym is still doing burpees.
People scared of you in that gym.
Oh, burpees.
I hope not.
No, I didn't mean that in a bad way, but like, yeah.
No.
I'd like to have that regimented approach. I think
no choice.
Just right. This is happening today. Gosh.
Yeah, there's some people in the class. They're doing the class with me. Like, oh, Neil, I feel sick. I'm like, well, go be fucking sick then. So just go be sick and just come back in the class. Just
get out.
Have that bit about you. Don't look at me and think like, you're going to be sick? No, just go be sick, come back.
Yeah.
Do you mean if you're going to be sick again, be sick again? Just don't be sick on my gym floor.
That's what the sick bucket's for.
Yeah. There's a few of them around, but
we had one in Clarac. Remember that one in Clarac we had?
I think I might have done actually.
Yeah, there's a sick bucket there.
Oh
my god.
Where is your gym now, Neil?
In Treforest, which is in between Pontypridd and Cardiff. So just off the A470 there. So if you know where Pontypridd is, I'm literally down the road by 2 or 3 miles from Pontypridd.
Nice.
And what is that gym called? Is it called
Mindset. Functional fitness. Yeah. And the reason of me calling it Mindset is because everything we do comes down to our mindset.
It's required, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got any more questions? I'm just thinking of Anything else I could ask? I've got a few there.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's been rolling so well. I've been
Yeah.
asking a few and stuff. I'm going to quickly check my messages. My questions.
I've got one just from like we've obviously known you or known about you for many years. Like why are you called Toddy? What's
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's a good question.
I was like,
That is a weird
I was
one,
in
actually.
I was in Dave's house before. I was like, Neil Adams. Hang on, what's Toddy? What is that?
Where did that come from?
It came from my elder brother. He didn't give it to me, but everybody else, I was known as Little Toddy.
Oh.
So he was known as Big Todd. So it comes from, so when he was a toddler,
Right.
he was always playing football with the elderly lot.
Okay.
So then it just kind of got, I started playing football with him when I was like a toddler kind of thing. He's like 11 years older than me. So it's like, right, that's Big Todd and that's Little Toddy, and that's basically where it comes from. Yeah.
Wow.
I have got a question. This one just popped in my head, actually. If someone came to you and said, like, I want to go into the Marines, what advice would you give them? Obviously the training, but like, what else?
Well, I do get that. I do get some lads coming to me for pre-forces training. If they come to me, especially for the Marines, then I can give them a lot more insight of the bullshit that they're going to go through with regards to their admin. If you're going to buy a new iron, take the fucking
Take that out.
Again.
take the plastic off the plug. Yeah, just little things like that. So there's all the little nitty-gritty stuff, just getting them ready, physically fit. So right, be prepared for this, because this is what's going to happen. You know, when you start seeing other people fuck up, learn from their mistakes. Do not be that person that's fucking up and things like that. And they said, just and the lads I've took, they've all got through as well. The Marines, they're there now. They've all took it on board, and they said, yeah, they're like, Neil, yeah, that advice really, really helped.
Great.
And that's that's it. It's because I've been there and done it, and I can see the little nicks and crannies what I need to look out for. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question.
Go on, mate, yeah.
How realistic or unrealistic is that SAS program? I understand that's like a slightly different thing, but how realistic is that in your opinion? Yeah, you know the one.
And I'm only, I've never done SF training, but
no, but still, like you'd have some.
But I know boys who have,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's probably not even 1% of.
No,
because
crushed it for me.
SF training is is 8 months long.
Yeah.
So I think what these slebs do,
I don't know.
10
2 weeks
days,
or something like
10
that.
days.
Yeah, max.
Yeah, max.
So I think they give them like a little scenario of sort of little elements.
Of the whole thing.
But let's say for instance that the interrogation part they go through, they may be in there for what?
It's like 5 minutes or something like that, isn't it?
No, I think
It's 12 hours, I think.
Yeah.
The final bit.
Or they say it's that, don't they? Who knows?
Oh, I thought you meant
with
when
reality TV.
They get hooded and then taken in, and then they get the hood off and they chat for a little while. Sorry.
No, yeah.
The final
Yeah.
test.
They get the
Final
baby
test.
crying.
I mean, they'll be in there for
that sounds horrendous.
the lads who actually go SF will be in there for a few days.
Did you ever get tempted to go up a notch?
Well, there was a time as I just started the PT thing. I was into about a year of the PT, and I was really, really missing the job at this stage. I suppose it was that transition of like dealing with civilian people. Maybe they were doing my head in, maybe they weren't. I don't know. Maybe I just was really just missing the fucking job. And it came to the point where I was going to join 2-2 reserves, 2-2 SAS reserves. And I spoke to Stacey about it, and she's like, I just can't do it. She goes, I can't deal with you going away somewhere where you might not come back. I was like, I'll be fine. Are you okay? But I was like, no, okay.
So what is that role then? The reserves? What would they?
Well, I suppose it's the back door way in to get in really. So if you've ever heard of Chris Ryan,
Yeah.
the one that got away, that's how he went in. He went in through his reserves. But again, still an outstanding bloke. But yeah, I was just contemplating it. I just looked at it. I spoke to a guy down at Newport where their HQ was or is. And I was literally going to start the process, so I actually had to sign up to the Army website. And he said, once your name comes in, because I can literally red flag it and I can pull it all onto my file, and we can get going from there. But obviously, I had a chat with Stace, and she was like, "Look, I just can't do it. Were you going to go away somewhere, and I can't just have that fucking worry ever again." So,
Totally understandable, I'd say.
which I get. She was, and I just got to put my ego to one side, if you like. I said, "Look, right, I've got to be here now for the family. Just really have fun, and this is the best decision I did make, because without my family, I've got nothing.
Oh, that's great. It's great that you can say that.
The gym could go tomorrow, but if I've got Stacey and the girls, that's all that matters to me.
Amazing.
That's it.
That's really nice thing to say. So where do you see mindset going? Where do you hope it to go, or be in like a year, 2 years?
Just as it is, it's doing really well as it is. We're going to be adding more stuff to it now shortly. The business partners I'm with now are amazing. They want to do some work, so we've got some infrared saunas and ice baths coming in. So we're looking at a bit more of a mindfulness part of it all and recovery. So sticking that in there. So we've got 3 rooms to kit out. We're going to start with the 1 at the minute, but I think the 1's going to really take off. Touch wood. I'll just go from there basically. So
cool.
We've got a good ethos down there, and there's one thing I wanted to put into a gym. It was just members just to have good camaraderie amongst each other, and it's there. We haven't really had to do anything to do that.
Nice.
It's just there. They've seen what I'm about, what my coach is about. The staff have got a fantastic. There's a few veterans down there. Yeah, it's just good. There's no egos in there. There's no meatheads. With a vest they bought from Mother Care. Pumping iron.
Spray on tops.
Yeah, but we have got some big lumps down there. Some big guys, but just if they saw someone doing something they might hurt themselves, they go over and help them.
Yeah,
it's that kind of place.
Nice.
Because we're all there for the same thing.
Yeah. That's cool.
I don't know. It just popped in my head. But does anything scare you now?
Just losing my family. That's probably the only, I'm not scared of death itself. If I was to fall off the planet tomorrow, that doesn't bother me. But I suppose what scares me is what my family left, what Stacey and the kids left with. I just worry about them. I'll walk through, I'll walk through fire for them. That's how I feel about them. People could do what they want to me. Nothing really phases me anymore. But anything comes to the wife and kids, then the red mist goes in.
Yeah.
We can all relate to that. I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
Definitely.
Of course.
If you've got kids and stuff like that, you look at life differently. And, I've been in some situations where, I've almost had a car accident. I'm on my own. I'm just like, I just carry on driving. Just blasé to it. There's been situations where someone's come right across my front end on a roundabout, and I got staring in the car like that, and I've literally lost my shit. I'm punching the hood. I'm like punching the fucking door.
Really, yeah.
This and this. Because my little one's there.
Of course,
yeah. But for me, it's just my family. I love them to bits.
It's good. Do you want to add anything? We've covered a lot of bases here. It's been really good. Is there anything that you want to say before we move on to like a couple of quick fire questions, maybe?
No. Fire away.
Yeah. Dave, you got some?
Favorite film?
Aliens, the uncut version.
As in
number 2.
Aliens.
The Marines.
Yeah.
Colonial Marines.
It is actually. You're right. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad choice. Though.
Brilliant film.
Alien and Aliens is
They're amazing
classics,
films.
Favorite cereal?
Yeah.
Crave.
Crave.
Which one's that?
Is that the purple box or the red box?
Red.
Oh, yeah,
You know, it's the colours. I
think you're right then.
I suppose.
Don't try it because you'll never want anything else. It is. Pardon the pun or whatever, but I crave that in the morning.
They've nailed that.
Really do.
Nailed that.
It's like pillows of little
That
chocolate. Oh,
Doesn't last long, does it? The box?
Nope.
No.
I eat with a
super
teaspoon. No, it's the biggest tip because you're gonna only get one on your spoon then.
Also, you limit
a bit longer
going in. I saw someone buying I think it was like almost a kilogram box of it the other day.
Oh,
it was
dream.
like 850. It was huge.
Because we're £8 as well, probably.
yeah.
If anyone's listening and wants to send us some Crave, you can.
Be a bad sponsor.
What music do you listen to?
Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice. That is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight
that's a
in.
good choice.
Best band in the world.
Yeah. So what's the lead singer? Ian Moody, is it?
Pretty much got me ready for every patrol I went on in Afghan.
They they do a lot for the veterans and stuff as well. I
Yeah,
think,
very
that's
patriotic.
interesting.
And Zoltan, the guitarist, him and his wife, they're in the new Call of Duty game, I think.
Yeah.
But she's a Gracie as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'll say 5 Finger Death Punch, and then second, some good drum and bass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
quite like. Been listening to a lot of Coven
Right.
lately. Like I just found on like Coven radio on Spotify. I was like, I'm doing the guys' heads in the gyms. Yeah, Neil's playing Coven again. But
Sweat today.
But I done a CrossFit comp the other week, and this DJ he'd done like 4 workouts. So by the third workout, I've literally gone up to him and had a chat with him, because the first 2 workouts he'd playing his music, and I thought like I was at someone's fucking shit wedding.
Oh no.
And I said, mate, is there any chance you could play some drum and bass? And he goes, you know what, I never thought somebody would ask, because I've been told to play this stuff, so thank you. I was like, get it on, please. So yeah.
Nice.
Good. One last one. Favorite chocolate bar.
Favorite chocolate bar, I would have to say Picnic.
I like a picnic.
That's not bad.
Good choice.
Yeah, good.
Very nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's about
It's
it.
got everything there in it: nuts, raisins, wafer,
Yeah.
chocolate,
Protein.
Yeah.
protein.
All your essential sugars and essential
Yeah.
everything. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy there. If
Yeah.
everyone else is, are you happy with that?
Incredible.
Sorry.
Yeah, sound, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really,
No,
really
thanks.
enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming on and being so open and chatting about the history and everything. And
I'm driving up and going through. What was it? A crash today? Or was it? Just
Yeah,
diversion?
so as you're coming towards Aber, you got that turn into Llandaniel, and there's my sister's big house on the left. There's a stretch of road with a lay-by, and as it goes up the hill, you see that bend left?
Right. Yeah.
So on that, as it bends left, that's where I saw the blue lights and stuff.
I
there.
see.
So I don't know if someone
Notorious.
saw an opportunity to overtake coming the opposite way, which I know we used to do it when I was younger
It's a
in
classic
cars.
little bit of road.
Yeah,
Isn't
if
it?
you can see a bit of a stretch and you think, oh, right, I'll drop it down a gear and I'll go now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but either way, it's so we went all the way to Llangwyrfon.
Oh, geez, you went off that way.
Yeah, because we went down some other lanes. I thought, right, I'll go. I kind of know the area a little bit. I thought I'll go this way, and it was absolutely. We went through Llandaniel. We had to turn back
Oh, good luck.
because all the cars, the vehicles like lorries, Mansell Davis, whatever, were coming from Aberystwyth way on the Llanrusted Road. I've gone through Llandaniel, so I don't know how these villages cope, with more than 4 cars going through the fucking village.
They don't.
Yeah,
They
don't.
Right, okay, so we I've literally managed to turn the truck around, get out, and I've gone, right, we'll go this way, gone all the way to Llangwyrfon, and we've come out just the other side of, in between Llanfairn and Llanilla.
Yeah.
So we come out with this, so yeah,
Bloody hell.
I actually left the Moody Cow about 4:30.
Oh,
So it was
my
about an hour and 20.
yeah.
And it should have been about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think I got that, yeah.
No,
But
appreciate
anyway,
the effort.
Yeah, we're really happy that you made the trip up there. It's been great.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah,
for it.
thanks a
very
lot for
much.
coming on.
No problem.
Massive.
Anytime.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.